third year student at Richmond American University in London on the BA Economics program.
Hi Emma. Hello, my name is Professor Sabine Spangenberg. I am head of Richmond Business School, and we're here to talk about the economics degree, economics with combined studies degree.
We've created this short video to give you some real insights into the degree program. I hope you enjoy it. At the end, we'll include some contact details so you can get in touch further. So, what is this degree really about?
Yeah, let me try and explain a little bit about the economics degree. So it is an with combined study degree, which means that it follows the liberal arts structure. So it's a 4-year program and a 4-year undergraduate program with a liberal arts element that runs all the way through the degree. So in terms of the economics content, you have courses in micro and macroeconomics, which give you an understanding of the functioning of markets, but also of the economy as a whole in the sense of economic aggregates. So we want to understand, where does economic growth come from, for example. The economics degree, in essence, is a degree that focuses on the abstract analysis of economic situations. It makes use of mathematical and statistical representation, so there's a lot of data work we do. But we also use abstract modeling in the sense of diagrammatic representation. So we draw a lot of models on the whiteboard, and we try to derive these in class so that students can follow the content in that sense. The focus is on markets. We want to understand how markets operate. We want to also look at the economy at the aggregate level. And we want to find out what the policymaker can do as well. So if we identify that there is a problem in terms of the outcome, it might be something that is overpriced or underpriced, what can the state do to correct that situation? So a lot of focus on policy instruments within the sphere of economics, focusing on limited resources. So, whether the state does something, or whether the producer does something, or whether we as consumers make a decision about what we want to purchase, all of this happens within the frame of limitation. Economics is evidence-based, so we try to understand the facts. So we observe what happens in the real economic life. So we want to find out about savings rates. We want to find out about investment rates. We want to find out about the behavior of economic, what we call units, consumers and producers, but we also want to know what is the role of the state here in the whole frame. So yeah, we look a lot at evidence. So there's a lot of data and real life facts that we try to get our heads around.
How is a liberal arts structure of the program here different from this program that you would find at another university, or something that wasn't as heavily focused on the liberal arts curriculum?
So the key strengths of the program at Richmond really is the teaching of analytical thinking. You get this on every economics degree, but what you get at Richmond is the added criticality that the liberal arts program offers you. Criticality, but also a sense of creativity, writing skills. Our students are able to talk to non-specialists, so I hope that I'm not too specialist in the way that I'm describing the program, but translating economic concepts which sound very abstract and very, very highbrow, making these concepts accessible to other people. So, and I think our students do particularly well there. But as I said, not just through the economics courses, but also that very important element of the liberal arts. And there are service learning courses where students can experience real work life. And I think that's something where, we do well for our students.
Let's dive a bit deeper into what specifically you'll study. So what's an example of one core kind of foundational class for this degree program?
Okay, very good. Yes, so at the foundation level or at the sort of lower division level, first year, second year, our students learn about macroeconomic principles. So that looks at markets, at equilibrium, how markets operate, what happens if there is a shock to the market, what is the response of producers or consumers, perhaps, and then at the macro level, it really is the focus is on the aggregation of behavior. So we get bigger numbers, and ultimately we look at the gross domestic product, what makes the economy grow, and so forth. But at the upper division, at the more specialist level of courses on the economics program, you've got courses such as international economics, behavioral economics, development economics. And for example, in international economics, you focus a lot on trade and international financial markets. So, what are the principles for trade? Why should nations trade with each other? What are the assumptions? When does that give a nation a benefit, right? So a lot has to do with these welfare improvements. Does trade create a welfare improvement to the nation? So your answer might be, in a particular case, it doesn't. And if that is the case, you want to find out, should protectionist measures be used? And alongside that, of course, in international economics would be sitting the international monetary side. So you would be looking at exchange rates, you would be looking at capital transfer between nations, you would be considering unions, trade agreements. So in international economics, I'm sure you will be looking very closely at the economic effects of Brexit, for example, on the United Kingdom. And perhaps, if we're thinking about new entrants to the European currency union, the euro area, we would be looking at questions: does the nation actually meet the structural requirements? And if not, what are the implications for the union as such? So so there's a lot of theory, a lot of, in some cases, thinking that dates back over more than 200 years. But we apply things to the modern day. And in development economics, again, we would be focusing a lot on categorizations of nations and what policies we could use to make people in a country better off.
How do electives work for students in this program? When can we take them? Do we have options of which ones to take in different years, or just how does that work?
That's very good. So as part of the liberal arts aspect of the economics degree, students can choose a minor. And I presume you chose sustainable strategic management as an elective. So you have 3 electives, which means you can choose any course you might be interested in, given that you've got the prerequisite for the course. But I'd like to stress that minors are very, very important in terms of the electives. So this really is a choice that the student makes. Does a student want to take a minor, which typically means 6 courses on a program? And this could be political science, this could be sustainability, it could be environmental studies, it could be mathematics. So it very much depends on your own liking. It depends on where you want to go in terms of your career. So for students, for example, who want to go into postgraduate studies after their BA in economics with us, they might want to consider a minor in mathematics just to, extend their skills there a bit. Students who in the past have found behavioral economics very, very interesting might want to complement that with a minor in psychology. So there are wide options, and we do have an advising system at Richmond, so you can speak to your academic advisor who can then point you into some possible directions.
How are these classes assessed?
So the assessment on courses varies. Typically, you have a mid-semester exam, which is sort of halfway through the semester, hence mid-semester exam. And that is really there to give you an opportunity to find out where you are in terms of your own performance at that stage. So we still try to have some continuous assessment, both formatively and summatively. So you might have a test in a class that doesn't count towards your overall grade, but that should give you an indication of how well you're doing in comparison to perhaps your peers. We make use of assignments, reports, final exams. So we try to create a variety of assessments, and I think we're doing quite well there at the moment.
Yes. I'd like to discuss the idea of internships. So when are they available to students? What do they look like in regards to the degree program here? And would you recommend that students in this program take one?
Yes, I think we have a very well-functioning internship offering at Richmond. We have an internship office, so we have an internship coordinator. So students typically get in touch with the internship office and tell them they want to do an internship in their major area of study. And the internship officer then lets you know what possibilities exist at the moment. I think it is a very good idea to do an internship, absolutely. It gives you an insight into working life. You have a 6-week program where you have to follow, of course, the guidance of your supervisor at the organization. You also have a faculty supervisor, so the faculty supervisor accompanies you, so to speak, through that journey. And you compile a reflective journal on your experience. So I think there are the typical personal skill development aspects which are important, but at the same time, it allows you to find out what you want to do and what you don't want to do.
So what organizations or companies have students who have completed this program gone on to kind of connect themselves with, or what networks have they become connected to after completing the program here?
So a lot of our students go into postgraduate studies, especially students graduating from the economics degree. Students have gone on to either straight economics, master programs. Students have gone into land economics. Students have gone into the area of development economics, and obviously we are an international university, so students look for international universities, but a considerable number of students have stayed in London and in the UK. So I know of recent graduates who've gone on to postgraduate studies at the LSE, at King's, Cambridge, and I think these are success stories. So it's good to see that we prepared them well enough for postgraduate studies. On the actual employment side, students get onto graduate programs in the typical corporate world. So students have found employment at McKinsey, at EY, but also in not-for-profit organizations. So, and some people have, for example, we have internships with think tanks, and some students want to go down, or graduates want to go down the route of involving themselves more in the social aspect of economics in the public sector. Yeah, so whether that means working for a government, whether that's working for a central bank. So there are many avenues open for students.
And what do just going back to the classes, how many students are usually in a classroom? Is it a more kind of intimate learning environment, or what does that look like?
It depends a little bit on the course that you take. In economics, at the lower division, classes can be 25 to 30 students, which is kind of large for us. But then, and in your third or fourth year in economics, you find comparatively small classes. So I currently teach a class with 9 students, so I tend to know my students by name. I kind of get to know them a little bit in terms of their views, and so there's definitely an opportunity to have discussions in class and to engage actively. So it's much more of an interactive learning, I'd say, than a lecture to the students kind of environment. Yeah, so fairly small class sizes.
And what are there any special events that are offered within this program? Just guest lectures, kind of any opportunity, I guess, to further your interest in this program and in this field as a student here?
Yeah. So across all the programs at Richmond, we make good use of guest lectures. We have a host of guest lectures who come and share their real life experience. In terms of events, London offers a wealth of opportunities, whether it is attending open lectures by world-renowned economists or politicians, for that matter. So yes, there are opportunities. I personally try to incorporate these events into my classes, and I think they're well received by the students. I enjoy them myself. I think it's nice for students to hear other people talk and not just the lecturer, and get a different perspective. And it gives an opportunity to discuss matters afterwards. So Emma, you've been a student here at Richmond now for a number of semesters. What do you like about the program?
I think that I love how the program gives me the tools that I need to really immerse myself in my studies. And I think that there are a lot of great opportunities to kind of form these relationships with my colleagues and, my professors as well. Just, I feel very supported in my learning, and also I feel like I've had a lot of flexibility with kind of directing my interests towards a specific sector of economics that I'm interested in. For one example, I became interested in international markets and global policy after taking your class my first term here, economic problems of developing countries. And from then I was able to kind of use that interest and apply it to other classes that I've gone on to take, like international economics and public economics. So I really like how you have the option and the opportunity to let your interests direct you in this environment. And I would say also feeling very supported by, not just the faculty here, but also resources, career fairs, internship opportunities. All of those have made me feel very well equipped to kind of, forge a future path in this area.
Yeah,
So
good.
it's just been great.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much for that.
Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it useful. At the end, we'll include some contact details if you have any further questions.
Thanks very much, Emma.
Thank you, Sabine.
Thanks for watching.